Yeah, so I've been listening to the to your songs on repeat quite a lot in the car and elsewhere. But before we begin, Taylor, so you're you used to be or maybe you still are, I don't know, like a security guy, right?
Yeah, no, I work security at concerts. So anything at Scotiabank Arena, Budweiser Stage, Rogers Center, all the big ones.
Were
I'll be
you?
there.
I couldn't help but think that your music has a kind of feel to it where it feels like you've absorbed a lot of kind of clubby nights as a security guard. And I remember that always had me attending stuff I would never have attended, like the huge Sky Dome size raves and stuff where people are dressed in white. And and I feel like your music, it's not just rock, but it's got that kind of sort of uh, you know you're in a sort of crazy venue downtown, kind of flashing lights in the dark kind of sound to it.
Someday, someday we'll be playing
Mm.
Rogers Center. Just you wait.
But you know what I mean. Your music has got it's got the crunchy guitars and stuff, and it's got a sort of a Queen influence. And well, don't you say in one of the songs you mentioned Freddie in sorry, let me get the song titles here. Grace
That would
Kelly.
be Grace Kelly. That's our cover of Mika.
That's a cover.
That's a cover. Yeah, no,
Okay, so who's it a
you
cover
never
of?
heard that one?
No,
I
not
could be
really.
brown, I could be blue, I could be
No,
blue.
no. Okay, okay. So I'm learning something new all the time. So, what made you decide to do that one? What's that from? Is that just a band, Mika? I guess.
So the artist Mika got pretty famous off that song. Maybe that's around 10 years ago too. When he got really famous off that, and then Ryan Reynolds and Will Ferrell did a cover of it for their Spirited movie, and I always sang it at karaoke. It's always been a karaoke show-off song where everyone goes like, "Oh wait, he's gonna sing this song," and then and I get up there and I hit those high notes, and they're like, "Oh, whoa, whoa, he's doing it."
So, did you ever
So
have?
we
Okay, sorry. Did you have any training singing at all in life? Like, it sounds like you have.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went to school for musical theater. I went to
Oh,
Wexford
awesome.
Collegiate School for the
Awesome.
Art.
Okay, so I was hoping you would say something like that. Where is that? Where is that located?
That's Scarborough.
Oh yeah,
Scarborough around a pharmacy in Eglinton.
there were a lot of assemblies where there were just sort of random dancers doing stuff. It's kind of a weird collision of, and it was they built a new building in 1997, and it was overcrowded immediately. There was that problem too. That was kind of messed up. So
That's the TCA, right?
sorry,
The TCA,
what's the
the
TCA?
Toronto Center for the Arts. I
Oh right,
actually used to work stage door security there too.
oh yeah,
Yeah, that's a creepy building at night. I'll say that
yeah,
much.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's around old North York City Hall. Mel Lastman, the mayor for whatever 50 years or something like that. Maybe not.
Ooh.
Mel
You
Lastman,
see,
I got
Mel Lastman Square. Yeah.
a fun story from that place. I
you got any
remember,
haunted stories?
yeah, I was working overnight and I was doing my rounds and I got called into the office and it's like, hey, here, come look at this. And as I'm walking around, shortly after, there's just this guy after we're closed walking, following me behind me.
Oh yeah.
This is like in the middle of the night. So this guy like snuck into the bathroom, stayed in the bathroom until we closed, and then was following me around the Toronto Center for the Arts
Oh
as
yeah.
I was doing my routine.
Around. Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
creepy.
yeah, that
So
is
it's just some random dude. I thought it was gonna be a ghost story or something. No, just a
I
sketchy
don't know.
dude.
It's scarier. People are scarier than ghosts.
Oh
I'll tell you
yeah,
that much.
can be. They can't. Yeah.
anyway. So why don't you guys start talking about who you are and how you formed this band, which I've spent a fair bit of time listening to, and I really like it actually. There's a lot going on across. So this is basically entirely singles you've released. There's, I think, an EP in here which reprises Escape Route, but most of the rest of it is singles. I guess isn't that right?
Yeah,
Yeah, we got
singles, originals. There's a medley in there. Some
Yep,
medleys.
couple of medleys. The Seven Nation Dreams, Savior Starlight, which I like because I love
Mhm.
Muse. I just love the band Muse. I'm a pretty big fan. Uh,
Muse,
and,
big
and
influence on me.
and Stairway to Black Submarines. So okay, that's one thing we could do. What made you guys want to do these medleys in this way? Because it's not just one track; it's actually three. And you're putting it out there into streaming. It actually does seem like the kind of good idea to put something like this on streaming because people will just be like, "Why not?" And they'll,
Yeah.
yeah. So what made you want to do more than one of these? And the most of them seem to have a guest vocalist as well. So why don't you explain the three mashup things?
So, I've always enjoyed doing covers, and every band out there does covers. But I found a way maybe to get noticed a little bit more is if you take two covers that you like and put them together into one and make it into your own kind of jam. But also when I hear songs, sometimes I hear another song playing that would sound good working with it. Like there's one I've always had in my head is Crazy from Gnarls Barkley and Crazy Train. Put them
Okay.
together, Crazy Train, Crazy.
Yeah.
But the first one we did was Savior Starlight, and I just those were my two favorite songs at the time. Save Your Tears by The Weeknd, Starlight by Muse, which is again this is my favorite band of all time. That's my favorite
Yeah.
song of all time.
Good.
Yeah,
Good. I love.
we did that about 2 years ago. That's when the band started. It was actually a completely different band when we started. I found some members off of I don't know if you heard of Vamper. It's like the Tinder for musicians.
Yeah.
How was that? Was
And
it quite the family using that?
well, it did take a while. I found a guy named Tan, and when we got together, we started it where we just be in his living room. Most of our songs that we have on our Spotify right now were recorded and produced in his living room. And then after a while, we got a drummer in and a bass player. And then unfortunately, I mean, not unfortunately, that guitar player Tan had a baby, and
Duty
when
calls.
babies happen,
Yeah.
gifts, and we had to break up at the time. But me and Sean Oki down there, and Sean Salazzo, who couldn't make it here, unfortunately, we had a band back in the day, almost 20 years ago, maybe 15 years ago, called The Personalities.
Yeah.
And we've come back together as These Evil Eyes. There's some songs that were old Personality songs that we've revived as These Evil Eyes.
Okay.
And that's the escape route, or the EP that's now with Personality is three Personality songs that we revived from back in the day.
Okay. Muse. Yeah. I let's talk about them just for kicks for a sec. Um,
Okay.
So the first time I heard Muse was on the Q magazine Best of 2003 CD, and that was
Mm.
uh, Thoughts of a Dying Atheist.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, it's great. And so I'd never heard anything like it before. I was just like, this is amazing. So I bought Absolution when it came out in 2004, and I tried to see them at the Mod Club, but it wasn't open to the public. It was go
Was
away.
it
It's like a closed event or something.
Yeah, it was just a closed event. So they would probably have been here back in the days of Sunburn and Muscle Museum at Showbiz, in other words, but they probably wouldn't have been here since then. This gig would have been the first one, and I wasn't able to go. I walked up to the doors of the Mod Club, and they tossed me away. But then they were at the Curiosa Festival, the Cure Festival, on the side stage, so I saw them there during the day. And then they played a whole bunch of stuff. The Docks, or the Sound Academy, I guess. I saw them at Arrow Hall in Mississauga. I even saw them. So I watched them basically every time they came from 2004 to like 2007. I even
Woo!
see them at Madison Square Garden. That was cool. But they kind of priced me out recently. Now it's kind of,
Oh, it's like every artist now. They're all pricing this out. It feels like.
Those three albums I thought were amazing. Origin of Symmetry, love it. Absolution and Black Holes and Revelations. I thought those were awesome.
Those are the lyrics in Savior Starlight right there. That's
Yes, exactly.
the album Starlight's on, I think.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm a huge fan, and they're very theatrical too. So
Yeah,
it
big
was
influence on us.
it was them and My Chemical Romance, and they toured together, I believe. And these two bands were kind of like musical theater in a way.
I have a my story with Muse is I heard them first when off of Guitar Hero,
Oh yeah,
when Sandonia was on there, and
I don't.
I
Yeah,
fell in love immediately.
yeah.
And I have a saying,
Awesome.
there's only two artists that I'll pay to see because I'm at the concerts working security.
Exactly. You don't want to bother. Yeah,
Muse,
yeah,
Muse and Weird Al. Those are the two that I'll pay to see.
Yeah.
And I have paid. I got very lucky that they came to History a few years ago, History in the Beaches, and they did
yeah.
like an October show. It was like a secret show, sold out the second it went up, and I was lucky enough to be working there, and I was like arm's length away from Matt Bellamy. I was looking back, and I could have touched his leg. That's how close I was to him.
Oh yeah. Um, that's cool. Yeah, I remember working security. I got pretty close to some pretty cool people, including some people who are no longer alive, like Chester Bennington and Chris Cornell, and
Oh,
even Glenn Fry of the Eagles.
you
So
two
yeah.
big names for me.
Um, so hold on a sec.
I met Tom Petty once. I've met a few.
Oh yeah.
Actually,
Oh.
yeah, I he asked me to smoke a joint with him,
Oh yeah.
and I had two cameras on me, and I'm like, I can't do it, I can't. And he's
Oh,
like, okay, okay. And then he signed an autograph for me and everything, and just said, here, what's? I said, my dad loves you. My dad brought me up on your music, and he's like, what's your dad's name? And I said, oh, it's his birthday soon. He goes, what's your dad's name? He goes, happy birthday, Mark. Here you go. Dropped a bunch of pics in my hand, and then went on stage. And that was his last Canadian show too.
You're you're wearing your eyes. But why don't you tell me about the name of the band and what that's all about?
Well, that is a story from back in the day. Um, let's just say I dated somebody who practiced black magic, or I don't know, and
voodoo.
yeah, some kind of voodoo, and we didn't break up in the most courteous ways. So she cast the evil eye curse on me,
Huh.
or so. Who knows if it's
You don't
real or
actually
not?
know though. You have a hunch
Oh,
she did. So it's
no,
good.
she told me she did,
Oh,
and
okay.
then ever since then, I didn't believe it at first. I didn't believe any of that stuff, and then I started to realize, I'm losing my jobs, I'm losing this, I'm losing this. I'm never really successful in life. There's always a little thing that kind of stops me from gaining that thing. So I tried to turn the evil eye into something productive, and so that's where the band name came from. That's where the brand came from. These evil eyes. I thought that would catch on.
What do you mean the brand? You're holding up your shirt. So what do you mean by that?
This
Well,
is. I'm sorry. I'm flaking out here. This is a
Mhm.
shirt that I got made recently. Some merch.
yeah,
This is the logo.
right.
These evil eyes. Yeah. Got a bit of a bug. So
Do you remember the
I
instance when
was.
the name hit you, Taylor? Was it like a specific night or something?
Yeah, we were.
Scenario, situation?
Me and that guitar player Tan were trying to come up with a name, and I knew right away I wanted to base it around the evil eye.
Yeah.
And Malocchio, which is a song that we are working on in the process of working on,
Coming in
was
hot.
one of the band shows is Malocchio. And then we didn't think everybody would know what Malocchio is, so we went with These Evil Eyes.
Mhm.
And have you ever encountered any other band that has that name, or has it been smooth sailing in that respect?
We wanted to do Evil Eye or Evil Eyes,
Yeah,
and those are already band names.
right.
But These Evil Eyes, one and only.
Good idea. Yeah, exactly. My old band from 20 years ago suffered the indignity of having other people take the name. The band name was Cold Dead
Yep.
Hands, and we had the band camp, and
Wait, what was the name, sorry?
it was Cold Dead Hands.
Dead Hands. Yeah.
Cold Dead
I like
Hands.
cold dead hands. I
So we
like it.
had the Bandcamp and we had the All Music Guide entry. We had a lot of stuff establishing us as having the name, but I guess in the streaming age, they don't give a shit. It's whoever claims it first, and you know, there nobody should have taken it based on what we already had, but they did. And so we added when I finally put it up on streaming, I added CA to the name, and that's been a pretty good way to go. It's we can still use merch and the URLs from before, but we voluntarily put CA afterwards because, like, even new stuff, people are going to claim Cold Dead Hands. It's kind of an obvious name. So,
Yeah, what does CA stand for? What's the abbreviation?
CA, it's for Canada.
Oh, okay,
So,
gotcha.
so we have the domain name colddeadhands.ca.
The Canadian cold dead hands.
Because there's some metal band out there with the name and whatever. So, Sean Oakey, why don't you tell me what your contribution is to the band? When did you hook up with?
So Ian, I recently joined the band. Past say 4 months or so, a few months I joined in, and I saw. I was with Taylor at a party, actually. We were at a party, and he was talking about, this music, his band. I also have another band that I'm in.
Yeah.
And we were talking music at a party one day, and he was talking about, like he needed some other musicians in his mix, right? And I was like, well, I'm looking for an excuse to play drums again, because I used to play drums way back, and I haven't played them in a long time. I play them on and off still.
Yeah.
I was looking for sort of a reason to pick them up again and get into the hobby. And this was a perfect opportunity, so I jumped in.
Cool. Where do you guys practice?
We have a couple different spots, all over pretty much, yeah. We practice at Links,
Okay.
the Rehearsal Factory.
Okay, so hourly,
Pardon me?
usually hourly spaces then.
Yeah, usually.
Don't forget to drop the name, Ogie. Primal Note Studio.
Yes, and Primal Note is our favorite place. At Primal Note, we have, in my other band, we have every Sunday we have the room for the entirety of Sunday. So sometimes we slip in with These Evil Eyes and practice there.
Okay.
Big shout out to Primal Note.
Why don't you, even though this doesn't have anything to do with These Evil Eyes, why don't you just quickly tell me you're on the P.O. Box radio show now with your own spot, and clearly that originated somewhere else. So why don't you just quickly talk about that?
The Dr. T show originated 15 years ago, back when I was at Seneca College at York University. There's a thing called Say Radio, a Seneca at York radio. And that's where, all the students there have their own show. It kind of blossomed into more. You start with an hour, and I was given, I believe, 2 or 3 hours by the end of it. And then after I graduated, I wanted to keep it going. So I became more of the, like what you do with the task cam. I go out to shows live. I go in the green room. I interview the bands. And then it's become more of a video on YouTube now recently too. I do Zoom interviews just like this. Even last night I was interviewing Super Not Okay. I know you know them.
Yep.
And
something about this, yep. So they'll be on the P.O. Box radio show.
Yeah, it'll be on the P.O. Box radio show. The video will be on my YouTube at Dr. T North, and everywhere else social media is Dr. T Show.
You might end up interviewing people I've already interviewed. So we'll have.
Yeah, I know. You did the Super Not Okay before, so.
No, actually,
Double
it's
dipping.
never been a Super Not Okay episode.
Oh.
Yeah, because Shorty doesn't really do covers. But I did sing on Cup of Soup.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Cup of Soup.
So let's talk about some individual songs. Keep things moving here. Some of these are covers and some of them are not. I thought Grace Kelly was an original, but it wasn't. Is Verge of Falling an original?
Yes.
Okay.
So the only cover that we have up is Grace Kelly, and then Stay with the Black Submarine, Seven Nation Dreams, and Savior Starlight are all mashup covers, but all the rest are originals.
Okay. So, is Not Enough the B side of Verge of Falling, sort of?
So when we made that EP on the Edge EP back in 2022, sorry, yeah, it was an EP of Verge of Falling and Not Enough. Not Enough was the single
Okay.
of the On the Edge EP,
Oh,
and Verge of Falling was kind of just there, a little soft little love song, and then Not Enough is more of a more of a self-reflection rock song.
um. So so Not Enough is more the single. Oh yeah, because that had a video when I was playing it in Spotify, I guess, right?
That was a fun.
What can you tell me about the video for that?
So we filmed it in Lynx, so half in Lynx, half in a tattoo studio, where I was getting a tattoo that says not enough on my arm. Funny enough, this tattoo on my arm right now with the evil eye on it,
Oh yeah.
I got from the same girl who was in the video, who was actually the drummer of the Anti Queens back in the day, Dallas Con.
Ooh.
Yep.
And so that's a fun little story there. And we had to make the tattoo look red, so she like pinch, and make it look all red, and like I kept punching my arm to make it look red and slapping it
Yeah.
to make it look more real.
Yeah.
But no, it's not a real tattoo. I've been asked that before. It's like, did you actually go get tattooed? Not enough on your arm? And no,
Yeah,
it's not.
that would be a rough tattoo if you did. It looked terrible.
It is not real.
Yeah.
So it feels like some of these songs are sort of like power ballads. Um,
Yeah.
and it kind of brings to sometimes I think it sounds sort of like Bon Jovi, and sometimes I think
Yeah, I
it
see
sounds a
that.
bit like Axl Rose. Or
I was saying some meatloaf, a bit of meatloaf influence in there.
I really like Meatloaf, actually. I think
Oh, me too. I like
well
meatloaf.
the main Meatloaf albums, not everything, because it has to be written by Jim Steinman, or else it's
Not
just
meatloaf.
imitation Meatloaf. So is there kind of an '80s metal influence there?
Absolutely.
Oh,
You
definitely.
got it like right on the nail.
Yeah.
We love doing 80s rock ballads, mixing with a little alternative rock and a little bit of pop rock. Try to amalgamate it all together.
And so that's why I would say that your music bears this kind of influence of being a security guard. I think it's it's got a rock basis, but you've also got some hip hop in there, and that you've got something stuff sort of. I remember I saw a picture on Instagram where you're wearing your security shirt. I'm like, yeah, that makes a lot of sense because security guard, you're kind of clubbing all the time. You're not drunk, but you're there.
Babysitting.
Yeah, exactly. So you know what I mean. It's got that kind of city at night kind of thing going on with Honey Boo Boo Child. What's that all about? Is that's an original?
Ooh.
That's an original. Have you ever heard of Honey Boo Boo
I think
before?
so. I think so. That's like she's some sort of U.S. radio.
Reality TV star or something from
Yeah.
a while back. A while back. What was the show called again? I don't remember.
So he was on a show called Toddlers and Tiaras, which is
Yeah, that's
like a
what it
very
was.
controversial show, a reality show. And then she was such a personality on it that she garnered her own show called Here
Mm.
Comes Honey Boo Boo. And we were just having fun with that. And I'm like, I should write a song about her. So I watched 2 seasons of that show to write the lyrics. And I think the best lyric I have in that show is don't be feeding no more bacon to Glitzy, because they had a little pig named Glitzy,
Oh yeah,
and Honey Boo Boo didn't know that bacon is pig, so she's feeding this little pig bacon, and
yeah.
it's like, Boo Boo, don't be feeding no more bacon to Glitzy, come on now. And then I thought that was hilarious, so it made for a really fun song
And that
in the
song
end.
is very much kind of like British blues. It's like early Jethro Tull or Fleetwood Mac or Cream or something like that. It's got that late '60s.
Kind of, yeah, like
Yeah,
Like that
Yep,
kind of.
exactly. So the one song that's repeated is "Escape Route." So what's "Escape Route" about? You've got a kind of provocative cover here of someone with a pill in their mouth.
Yeah. So escape route, all the lyrics, I tried to cover every addiction out there imaginable. Everyone, like everything someone uses or takes or does to escape their reality, to escape whatever situation they're in. Maybe
All
drugs,
vices.
maybe lemon chicken. Yeah. So
Ooh,
like
whatever your
eating,
vice.
yeah, vice. That's the word I was looking for. Yes.
All right. So
Yes.
what's next for these Evil Eyes in terms of releases? Do you intend to release something longer, or keep releasing singles, or what's going to come
We
next?
we are working on an album this year.
Okay.
We
Oh,
are. Uh,
cool.
we're still working on a name. We're thinking it's going to be called "These Evil Lies" album. So I forget what it is when you say one thing and it sounds like another thing. So if you say "These Evil Lies" fast, sounds like "These Evil Eyes."
Are you
But
trying to confuse people? You trying to confuse the DJs?
A
maybe.
little bit.
So
But
how many tracks is that?
we're working for 10. 10,
Okay,
10
cool.
tracks on the album. We're gonna have some like not enough's gonna be in there, but we're gonna have a lot of new songs too. Malocchio is one of them. That's one of those songs that you should be looking out for.
Okay.
I think it's going to be our anthem after it
Yeah,
comes
that
out.
one's an interesting one. Malocchio, Ian, I think you'll like it because
Okay.
it's got odd time signatures. It's not your standard 4/4 stuff. It's got lots of
And it's metal.
parts. What's that? Yeah.
It's metal. It's
Oh, it's
harder.
metal.
We go. Yeah,
Got some
no.
metal influences.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's
When's
gonna be a journey.
when's that coming out?
TBD.
Okay. But so, do you have anything that we can play from that?
Um, I can't say yes. We do
Yes,
have a very
It's not ready yet. It's
version.
not ready yet.
it's not ready yet.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's definitely not ready.
We need to cook it some more. It's still cooking.
All right.
But we got a music video coming up this weekend.
Oh, nice.
We should talk about that a bit.
Yeah, sure.
That's for which song again, Taylor?
Stairway to Black Submarines. We're doing
Okay.
a music video at Casa Loma
Oh, nice.
on the steps.
Do
Okay.
some shots of them. I'm gonna have my knight in shining armor outfit and my sword and shield. Gonna pull up.
That's actually why I bought these eye contacts for the video.
Oh, okay. So somehow I figured those have been around for a while, but no, that's okay. So people will see what I'm talking about when I said yeah. You were wearing those at the gig too, the rock
Yeah.
pile.
Well, I want to get my money's worth.
I hear you calling. So why don't you just quickly give an intro to that one? So what made you want to play that particular song, and just tell me about your interest in gob? I guess either one of you or both can do that.
We always used to play that song when we were back in the band called the Personalities with me, Sean Ogie, and Sean Salazzo. We were in the band called the Personalities, and we always played that song, and it always made the crowd go crazy. So when we heard that you wanted to do a CanCon song, we
Yeah.
decided that it had to be "I Hear You Calling." We got to bring it back, and it felt good to play after all these years. Gob's been a fun little band that we can party with when we're playing. So definitely a crowd pleaser, and we thought that would be the best option.
It was also a good fit for that night, Ian, because there was a Sum 41 cover band happening that same evening. And Sum 41 and Gob, kind of the same cadence a little bit, punk,
Sure.
Canadian punk. So we're like, oh yeah, let's do a Gob song.
I feel like Gob's the older band. I think.
Older, yeah. I think probably less popular, not as known as much, but
All right. I think we're good.